Well, Happy New Year.
Hi,
It
everybody.
is 2025, believe it or not.
Mhm.
I feel like 2025 is going to be a good year. You know, whenever it's on multiples of 5, I'm like, yes, it's going to be a good year. Not that 2024 was horrible. We had some good reading. I definitely did well in my reading goals and whatnot. Um, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But welcome to DoubleBookedCo. If you haven't been here before, this is our YouTube channel. We share information about our Etsy shop that we have, as well as everything about our book club. And we do these reading sprints once a month, the first Tuesday of every month. And then we follow that up with a live discussion on the last Tuesday of every month. So if you're interested in joining us, you can join anytime throughout the year. You do not have to do every reading. You do not have to do any reading. You can just simply join us for the ride. Now, before we talk about our books for February, our book for January here, and even start reading, we did want to take a moment. We did have one of our cherished members, one of our fellow readers, pass in 2024 at the end of the year there. And we just want to take a moment and remember Kim. Kim was a dedicated reader. She always had something nice to say, and I believe was very much into Civil War historical fiction. But an avid reader and a very cherished member of this book club, and she did pass late in 2024. So we do just want to take a moment and just remember Kim and hope that wherever she finds herself now, that she has ample reading available to her. So if you all don't mind, we'd just like to take a moment and remember Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we thank you for that, and I hope everyone was able to send a quiet thought on for our fellow reader. It's never good news when you hear something like that, but we hope that she was, and we know that she was surrounded by loved ones. So.
Yeah.
Moving on, as Kim would like us to do, reading all the good things that are out there. We will be starting January with an author that we have previously read, so it's a revisited author. For January, our book is a Ruth Ware book, so we read In a Dark, Dark Wood. And this year, we picked a Ruth Ware book to revisit, and that is The Death of Mrs. Westaway. So that's what we'll be reading here in January. So if you want to join us with that, that's what we'll be reading. And then the live discussion will be on Tuesday, January 28th, here on our YouTube channel at 8 p.m. But before we get into that, before we get into our reading sprints and our chatty sprints and all the things that we do, let's talk about February's book picks, because we will have the next 2 weeks to vote on those, and then that will be how we decide what we're going to be reading in February. So, Laura, if you would like to tell us all about what we may be reading here in February.
Yeah. Well, as you know, every fall we usually put out a submission asking you guys if you want to pick a month, pick some titles for us to choose. So we have the lovely Allie picking February for her birthday month once again. And Allie's choice is to read, we have 3 picks by one author. So, and they're all shorties, which is nice too. Thank you, Allie. Okay, so they are, everything is going to be by Penelope Fitzgerald. So let's start with option number 1, which is called offshore. Okay. Oh my God, where are my glasses? Okay, on the Battersea Reach, a mixed bag of the slightly disreputable, the temporarily lost, and the patently eccentric live on houseboats, rising and falling with the tides of the Thames. There is good-natured Maurice, by occupation a male prostitute, by chance a receiver of stolen goods, and Richard, an ex-Navy man whose boat, much like its owner, dominates the Reach. Then there is Nena, an abandoned wife and mother of 2 young girls running wild on the muddy foreshore, whose domestic predicament, as it deepens, will draw this disparate community together. A novel the Booker judges deemed flawless, Offshore is one of Fitzgerald's greatest triumphs. This is roughly 208 pages and was published in 2014. Okay, then the next option we have here is Human Voices. The nation is listening. It's 1940 and BBC Radio is on the air. Dedicated to the cause, it's going to do what it does best, keep the British upper lip stiff without resorting to lies. But nightly blackouts and the thunder of exploding enemy bombs are only part of the chaos faced by the staff. There's a battle for control between 2 program directors, one recklessly randy, the other efficient. Their comely assistant is suffering the pangs of unrequited love. An unwed mother is resisting the impending birth of her baby. And an exiled French general takes to the airwaves demanding Britain's surrender. Then there's the concert hall itself, a makeshift shelter for the displaced that quickly becomes a hotbed for quick trysts, bloody brawls, private wars between the sexes, political grandstanding, pointless deaths, and overriding fear as the news unfolds just outside the building's vulnerable walls. Inspired by the Booker Prize-winning author's own wartime experiences at the BBC, Human Voices is a novel at once funny, touching, and authentic. So this was published in 2013 and is 169 pages. And the last option we have here is The Beginning of Spring. March 1913. Moscow is stirring herself to meet the beginning of spring. English painter Frank Reed returns from work one night to find that his wife has gone away. No one knows where or why, or whether she'll ever come back. All Frank knows for sure is that he is now alone and must find someone to care for his 3 young children. Into Frank's life comes Lisa Ivanova, a quiet, calming beauty from the country, untroubled to the point of seeming simple. But is she? And why has Frank's bookkeeper, Selwyn Crane, gone to such lengths, to bring these 2 together? From a winner of the National Book Circle Award novel, this novel, with a new introduction by Andrew Miller, is filled with writing so precise and lilting it can make you shiver, apparently. So this novel is 260 pages. So various subjects, for sure, all under 300 pages, one under 200, which is lovely. And yeah, I'm excited. I've only read, I think, one Fitzgerald before, but I really enjoyed it. And I couldn't tell you what it even was, but I know I've read her before. Have you read her before at all?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah.
I like the genres it sounds like. And it sounds like stuff I would read.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many authors that write this kind of stuff that I don't think I have.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
I feel like she's, for some reason, more popular in, well, not for some reason, she's British, more popular in England than she is here. I mean, Joy. And also, I get her confused with Penelope Lively all the time. They both seem to be a similar age. They're both British, and they both write a lot of shorter books.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I get those 2 confused. I know I've read Penelope Lively before as well, but
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I'm excited to see what we're going to read for February. And thank you, Allie, for the birthday picks.
Yeah, so...
Oh, well, apparently Dani just left us now. Hi, everybody. I can't do anything except sit here because I have no control. Here she is.
That's so weird. I've not... all I did... all I did was try to move my laptop because so I have to have a webcam instead of the laptop because my laptop doesn't work with the webcam. So I was like, maybe instead of looking down all the time, because I'm looking at you where you're on my thing, instead of looking at this camera, then I'll put them together. And as soon as I moved it was like, so I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, everybody.
Oh, and there she is again. Quit moving. Oh.
You have to stop touching. No more touching. No more touching. Very temperamental. Let's just, I'm just not even,
Don't look at it. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my hands here.
Yeah.
So if you see me looking down, it's because that's where my computer is and the webcam is there. So I apologize if I'm not like staring you in the eyeball. But my goodness, I will not touch it. So if you see me, like leave, it'll be just a second. Oh my goodness. Okay. So reading sprints today. We are going to be reading that Ruth Ware book, like I mentioned. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure that most of us have probably read this book already because we're all like super eager to read it. And I think because, we missed December, that a lot of us were like, oh, we'll get a head start. So I'm pretty sure a lot of us are either done or halfway done with this book, which is crazy. Usually it's just Allie that's done.
Yeah.
But I think you'll be starting it tonight. You you stayed true to our normal schedule.
Yeah.
But yes, I have already finished the book. I read it pretty quickly. I think over the course of 2 days when I was painting my bathroom. I read it, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I think you'll like it.
I'm sure you will.
I think it'll be a good discussion. So I don't think it was bad. So you have something to look forward to.
Okay, good.
But before we get into that, how was your reading for 2024? How did you meet your goals that you wanted to read, or were you?
Yeah, I did. So I track my reading on Goodreads and on Storygraph. I'm not friends with anyone on Storygraph. I'm keeping myself just to myself on Storygraph. So I don't have any friends over there or anything. But Goodreads has my goal as something else. My actual goal is on Storygraph because I don't track all the dirty things that I read on Goodreads, quite frankly. So my goal was 75 for the year, and I got to, I think, 123. I have to look again.
Nice.
So I got it. Thank you, Smut. Actually, no, it's not just because of that. No. I got to 103, I think, or 110 or something on Goodreads. But anyways, so yeah, I got there. I think, I don't know, I feel like it was just an okay year. I have to look again, but I think I only had 4 5-star reads, and one was a book of poetry, one was a children's picture book. I think I have 1 middle grade, and only 1 that was like an actual adult, size novel. What that is, I don't know. I only remember the other 3. So I feel like it was an okay year. I mean, I don't know. It was a weird year for me personally. I mean, I feel like it was a recovery year in a lot of ways. And I made a lot of changes mentally, which just takes time and quiet and thinking and everything else. So yeah, it was kind of a bizarre year, but I guess my reading was fine. I mean, it was fine. So yeah, I'm hoping for a better one this coming year. Not that it was horrible, but let's say yeah, I really had a great reading year, So yeah. I'm hoping for that for 2025. How about you?
Well, I had my goal of books at 75, and I ended up doing 109. But if I look at my stuff, I don't know why, but at the beginning of the year, I started to document all the kids' books I was reading, and then after I I think 10. I was like, why am I doing this? This is totally going to offset all of my numbers. So let me just look right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I ended up reading 90 books.
Okay, nice.
So I had a goal of 75. I read 90 adult books. Or not children's books. So like, because I know I read middle grade as well, but not a lot. I think there was only like 2 middle grades in here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of smut, and like it's not like it's like, oh my gosh, why are you reading so much smut? It was so I fell down a rabbit hole of
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Of this Grace Goodwin. So that is basically why I had so much overage over the 75, because they're quick books that are they were all audio. I was getting like 1 a day done because they're just so quick. They're like 2 hours long because I read at double speed. And to be honest, like when you're reading from the same author in the same stream of a series, they're all the same. Like you're not even there for it. You're like, for me, I was reading them so fast because I was trying to figure out what like the underlying plot was, like you know, like the stuff that isn't the smut, because I wanted to know what was happening with like this ongoing war and like these hive things. And so I don't know, the smut part doesn't even, I feel like, apply, because you're just there. It's all the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same scenes over and over again, but with different named characters. But that, I mean, that really catapulted me past my reading goals, because I think I read this year, I think she has like 60 books in that series, and I have like 10 books that I need to read in it. So I read a lot of it. But other than that, I mean, there were a few good ones. I did reread the Deborah Harkness Discovery of Witches book series, which I had a lot of fun with. I really liked rereading those, and then therefore read the newest Blackbird Oracle, which I just love those books. They're just fantastic. And I think in reading all of the Grace Goodwin fantasy books, like sci-fi books, it really got me more intrigued to start reading more fantasy books, because I used to read a lot more fantasy when I was younger, you know, like Hunger Games is dystopian and stuff, but like when I was younger, it was like a lot of fantasy books. And so, you know, you and I kind of dipped into the A Court of Thorn and Roses. So I'm on the 3rd book of that series. I'm currently reading Fourth Wing. So I feel like this year, like 2025, like I'm starting the year super strong. Like really big books, really long books, good books. And not to say the court books are good, because I'm not like the biggest fan of them, but I am reading them, I think, more so to just find out what the hype's all about. And thankfully, I'm doing it via audio. But I'm like catching my stride in fantasy, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I'm gonna sneeze here. Excuse me. Okay, maybe not. Oh, I hate that when you keep you steal it from yourself. Anywho, so yeah, no, I'm just looking through my books, and I'm not seeing any in particular that I really hated. I feel like I had a pretty decent year. I think the only one that I really ended up DNFing was that Secrets of Nanwraith Hall, and I got pretty far into that, so I did count that as a read, because I think I got like at least halfway through. I feel like, so on Goodreads they don't let you categorize DNFs, but for me, if I get past the halfway point in a book, I do mark it on Goodreads, but then I do mark it in like where you would write your review. I do put a DNF at whatever percentage I was at, in case I were ever to go back. Because I feel like if I got halfway through, I should be able to count it.
That was, it's like 400 pages. It's like 200 pages you got.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I mean, I feel like this year is going to be a good year. I really do. And I'm excited for what we'll read in the book club here, because we seem to have really great suggestions from our members. And I always like reading outside of what I'm used to. So it's nice that we do have that as part of our selections.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what this Penelope Fitzgerald has to offer, and any of the other authors that have been suggested for the coming months. But yeah, well, let us roll into a sprint, since that's what we're supposed to be doing here. If you're just joining us, please let us know in the comments what you will be reading this evening. Here comes the sneeze again. Here we go. I don't know. Maybe not. Torturous.
Like,
it's so bad. Okay. So let us know in the comments. And then, like I mentioned before, I'll be listening to Fourth Wing. I am about 70% in, so I don't think I'll finish it with us tonight.
yeah.
But I'll definitely get farther along. So, and I just started that today. I've literally been listening to it all day.
Yeah.
So, and then during our first sprint, I will put up the poll for our February books. So stay tuned for that. And then for you, Laura, what will you be reading?
I'm going to start out by finishing World of Wonders by Amy Nijuku Matado. So I'm in the Book Naturalist book club that's run by Doris at Aldi Books and Heidi at My Reading Life. And it's all science and nature books, mostly nonfiction, but some fiction too. So this year, for 2025, their 5-year anniversary, they're revisiting their favorite titles of the last 5 years. And this was the first book they ever read, I guess. And I really like it. It's short. You read this one too. I know you liked it.
Yep.
So I've got about 40, 50 pages left in this one. I'm just going to finish this first, and then I'll start the Mrs. Westaway, because I think you're right. I think I am the only person, at least in Voxer, that has not started it yet, let alone finished it. So yeah, I need to get going. I feel like I'm really missing the train.
It's okay. You'll be able to remember more during the live discussion.
Debatable.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 25 minutes really seemed to be a good minute marker for us last year. And it's 2025. Let's go ahead and keep it at 25 minutes.
Sure.
So that'll bring us to about the 50 mark as far as time goes. Okay. So we'll do that. I'll put on a YouTube channel that does some kind of background noise, and we'll go from there. I'm going to quickly turn my stuff off, because I'm going to go try to get this sneeze out of me, and I'll be back. But okay.
Yeah, I'm going to make coffee, but I'll be back.
Okay. We will see you in 25 minutes.
Yep.
must have not muted myself. Weird. I thought I did. Maybe I put it back on when I came back. I hope I wasn't talking out loud. Well, welcome back. That was our first sprint there. Turn this stuff off. There we go. Ay. Mine, perfect stopping point. It was a chapter change. So.
Nice.
Yeah, and like, it was a crazy scene that it ended on. So I was like, because I read at, right now I have it set at 2.15 speed. Mm-hmm. So when the narrator starts reading faster because of the action, like whenever there's action happening, they read a little faster. So it's not 2.1 anymore. It's like 2.75 because they're like, bah, 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 and I'm like trying to keep up, like, whoa, all this stuff is happening. But it was good. I'm really liking this book.
Good.
For those of you who might be just tuning in, I'm reading Fourth Wing because I already read our January book. I read that in December because it came up on my Libby available, so I just read it. So I'm ahead of the game there. But yes, I'm reading Fourth Wing, and I'm pretty far in. I'm towards the end of the book. I'm at 70%, so I'm in chapter 29. So I'm pretty far in there. But how did you do?
Good. Ended up well for me too. I finished World of Wonders. I always forget that title. My God. I finished that, and then I made my coffee, and I just read the letter that opens, or diary entry that opens the book. So I just started Westaway. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
Aside from a apparently whiny main character.
Yeah. She is quite whiny.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it you're like, yeah, and then most of it you're like, can we just move on? Because it never changes. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna find that throughout.
Goody.
Yeah, goody gumdrops. Mm-hmm. So before we started our sprint, we were kind of talking about 2024 and the books that we're reading. Do you have any like highly anticipated books that you want to read in 2025?
I don't think so. Just the books that I normally read that are in series I've been reading for a long time. So there's a new Agatha Raisin that's by MC Beaton, who passed away a few years ago, and those are now being written by Rob Green, R.G. Green, or something like that. Green is the last name. Anyways, so there's a new Agatha Raisin in the fall, and there's a new Hamish Macbeth, same author. That's middle of February, so it's about a month. Got those to look forward to. I like reading the new Stephanie Plum by Janet Ivanovich. Those are out every November, so look forward to that one. That's kind of it, I think. I mean, I usually notice stuff like a week or two before they're published, and I'm like, oh, this is coming out. Oh, okay. And then I get a request at the library. I'm not great at the really far ahead stuff, but yeah, nothing particular. I mean, that's one thing about not really reading new books is that you don't really get on a hype train for a lot of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So how about you? Anything coming up?
You know, so last year, or maybe even the year before that, like, I've really gone away from, like, making huge TBRs or, like, TBR goals. I've just kind of been mood reading and just picking up what seems to intrigue me, that kind of thing. And recently, like I was saying before, like, this whole fantasy train that I've kind of jumped back on, I was talking with my brother, and one of my brothers, and then my friend Beth Ann, who you know, and very, very fond of Brandon Sanderson, like very much involved with reading all of his stuff. And obviously I am not ignorant of who that is and what they've written. I read Steelheart many years ago, which is the first in a series of his. very different from what he is best known for. But and then with you and several others, tried to start reading The Way of Kings, and at like 300 pages in, I had to like bounce because it was just too overwhelming and could not do it. But recently, after speaking with my brother and Beth Ann, I'm like, okay, maybe I should try this again. You know, maybe I'm feeling good about like fantasy stuff. And before, when I was reading Way of Kings, I was reading it physically. And now that I found so many different avenues of audio reading, that's really helped me with these bigger tomes and books that I may get lost in if I'm reading them physically. So I decided I would try to get back into reading some of Sanderson. So I did recently read Tress of the Emerald Sea, which is his Secret Projects series or what have you. So I think that's fairly recent, like something like that. And I read that and I really enjoyed it. I really did. So I feel like I'm dipping my toes in. So I do have like the Mistborn series, like the first of that, and there's another one that Beth Ann says is her favorite, like
Warbringer.
Yes, Warbringer, that she says is her favorite. So I have that, and then I did put Way of Kings on there too, like for holds on Libby. Of course, these are like several months away. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm just gonna, when they come up, we'll see what comes up first, and maybe we'll try this again. My brother has said to try Mistborn first, because it kind of breaks you in, that kind of thing. But everyone has their own idea of what is best to come first. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm not like holding myself to anything, but we'll see how that goes. So that's kind of what I have. That's really my only real big plan. I am trying to get through these Court Sarah J. Maas books. Some other friends of mine mentioned that her Throne of Glass series is much better than the Court books, so I put that on a hold. So yeah, I'm just kind of like whatever sounds good and whatnot. And also, I did ask subscribers to give me recommendations for February, so I do have a couple of those. But most of what people have been recommending are several month holds on Libby. So we'll see how that goes. I do have one book that someone suggested, so I'll probably be reading that one, and it's a pretty big, hefty book, and that's In the Name of the Wind by Patrick. Is it Rothfuss? Yes, thank you. So I'll be reading that in February, and I've had that recommended to me on several occasions. So this time I'm actually going to read it because I did recently pick it up at the thrift store. So yeah, I just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I don't even know what I'm going to end up having us read in July here, but I have a couple months to think about it. So I haven't decided yet because I don't really feel like really confident in the past books that I've picked. So I'm going to really try to do better this year.
I know. When I couldn't sleep a couple nights ago, I was thinking of what I was going to pick for May. And I don't know this year. I really have nothing that's like really on my radar that I really, really want to read, that I'm confident enough that I would say at least half people haven't already read yet. Like, I would like to read the first Emily Wilde book, but I feel like that's been so popular. What's the freaking point of picking that? Because I'm assuming everyone who's wanted to read it is reading it because the third book comes out soon, and so I'm not going to pick that. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm trying to be a little more open with my reading this year as well, and not be so structured, because some of the stuff I think is on a list. Generally speaking, I can't read it. Like, I don't want to read it anymore. My brain has already like marked it off in my head somehow. It makes no sense, but I'm trying to do that. And I have, I'm also doing the 52 book club challenge again this year. I'm trying not to be such a crazy person about it though, and just like, yeah, look ahead and I'll plan some things, but also just see what I'm reading and see what fills in. Like, I finished my reread of the first Dresden Files book last night. So I marked it off this morning, and I was just looking through the thing, my 52 Book Club book this morning, and one of them was Features a Magician, and I was like, well, bingo. I have a thing here I didn't even know it was on the list. So
Exactly.
I'm trying to just do that and see what happens and not be such a crazy person. And I really am trying to read off of my shelves as much as possible because, I mean, I do have a lot of books. Like it's verging on too many. I'll deny it to my mother's face, to my dying breath, but it really is like it's a lot of unread books. So yeah.
I really should read more from my shelves, but I'm so like stuck in this audiobook phase because it's really the only way I've been able to get things done.
Right.
It's just because I've got 2 toddlers, and so it's easy for me to put my headphones on and like while we're doing stuff or I'm cleaning, I usually have it like so that I have it off kilter. And that's really been the only way I've been able to read. And then more specifically when they're napping and I'm really getting stuff done, then I can pop it on because there's not really any like solitary time that I'm able to just like sit down and read.
Right.
Because by the end of the night, like once they're in bed and I've cleaned up whatever I need to clean up and I do sit down, if I put a physical book in front of me, there's no way. Like
yeah.
I read a few, I read a fantasy duet book and it was an ebook, and I think I was only able to get that done because it was lit. Like it's from an e-reader, so it was like the light was on, because otherwise I think I would have fallen asleep.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I had TBRs before, like physical TBRs, it was just too overwhelming because it looks at you and like demands like these are the books that you have to read, and you just stare at it and you like, or for me, I'm just like, I don't want to read any of those books. So then instead of reading those books or just picking a different book, you just don't read anything because you're like, I'm supposed to read
that one.
Yeah. Exactly. So since I've stopped making physical TBRs and TBRs in general, I have read so much more. And like, even like, oh, I shouldn't be reading this, I should be reading that. So instead you don't read anything. It's just like, I don't care, I'm just going to read this because I'm reading something.
Right.
And I feel like I've been reading way more than I typically would have. And the nice thing is I don't watch a lot of TV until like a show that I do watch like is available, like so like Virgin River. So on those nights I didn't read anything because I was watching Virgin River. But now that I've watched all of Virgin River, I don't need to. Now, Will Trent has started again. High Potential has started again. But usually what I'll do is I'll wait for like at least 3 episodes, and then I'll binge watch those episodes as opposed to like watching them.
Sure.
But so I've been doing a lot of reading, and really it's all audio because that's the only really way I can get it done. So yeah, it works out pretty nice. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess. Happy New Year.
Oh, we knew what you meant. Let us know what you're reading. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this year because I feel like I've been doing a really good job of like staying focused on getting these books done. And I think too, because like on the Libby app, which is where I've been reading most of these books that I've been reading as of late, like it'll say how many people are waiting behind you. So I'm like, okay, I got to get this done because I don't feel like I can renew it because there's someone waiting. Like when you get a book from the library, like you don't know if anyone's waiting behind you. So you just, if you can renew it, you renew it, right? On Libby, when you can see there's someone waiting, I'm like, I'm just going to have to get this done. So it's been very helpful. I have not been procrastinating on getting books done that I have borrowed. So feeling good about that.
Good.
Well, we chatted for a good amount of time there. I think our chatty sprints should not go over our regular sprints. Oh, here we go. Quicksilver, which is romantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So far it's okay, but feels very generic to YA romantasy. With the whole fearless. Oh, I feel like I've seen the cover art to that, and I wonder, are you reading that on Kindle Unlimited? Maybe that's where I saw it. Because I'm on Kindle Unlimited when I'm doing any e-reading. It's romance fantasy, whatever.
Fantasy, yeah.
Romantasy. There we go. Tussie. Yeah. I feel like I saw it on there. So, anywho. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's probably where I saw it. It was probably recommended to me because like I said, I've been reading a lot of those. Debbie's here as well. Hello, hello.
Hey, Debbie.
Oh, Haley Mills memoir.
Nice.
Oh, fun. I do like her. Forever Young and the Physical Reading, Amazing Grace Adams. Very nice. Well, we're lucky to have you here. Thank you for joining us. We're just about to jump into another sprint, so please continue to be reading your books there. We're going to do the 25-minute mark. We'll pretend we're going to the 10, so that is 25 would be 35, if I do math right. No? Yes, 35 would be 25 minutes. 10 plus 25 is 35, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm always questioning because, like, I think, like, somehow I'm not doing time correctly. So I can do math. I just feel like it's not correct with time. That's all. Okay. So, for all of you out there, if you're joining us for reading, we're going to put some sprints on. I'll put that ambiance video back on, and we'll see you back in 25 minutes.
Don't forget to mute yourself, Dani.
I know. I did, but I wonder if it unmuted myself when I came back. Like, I don't know. I just hope I wasn't talking to myself, because I do that sometimes when I'm listening to books. I'll say something really crazy. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I figured out this webcam is very temperamental. Like, if I move this, it, like, yeah. So I'll have to figure out a more stationary way to have my laptop somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so that's what made the mute go from unmute to, yeah. But anywho. Ooh. I was able to get through another chapter.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It was there was some spicy stuff that happened for the first time, so it was like awkward. But not really.
Yeah. I know I got to chapter 8. So
you're just rolling on through. What do you think of it so far?
Yeah. It's good. I think it could be a little less wordy. Like each chapter could be a little bit tighter. There's a lot of repetition of things, and a lot of her thoughts really dragged out a lot. And I don't know. I can kind of skim read because it's sort of like, yeah, okay, Um,
Yeah, I feel like from what I can remember, I feel like the chapters that happen before she's at the manor, like when she goes to the funeral or whatever, those chapters seem super repetitive and like long-winded. I feel like it really only had to be like one chapter to like explain who she is, why she is, what she is, how she is going to come to this other place, and then just have done that.
Yeah, it could have been 20 pages versus the 54 that I just read.
Yeah, like I felt like it was, it didn't really help, and I feel like later, like when you get into more information about her and her mother, it's, how to say this without giving any spoilers away, it actually makes the beginning chapters more confusing because they didn't actually give enough information regarding her.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah. And my biggest thing was like, okay, so have you had her interaction with like the loan guy yet?
Yeah, she's just purchased the ticket, like it's like just gone through, and she's packing up her bag.
Okay, so excuse me. So the biggest question that I had prior to her leaving and going to this manor or whatever is, how was it that her mother was able to be the madam whatever fortune teller on the shore and pay for their living expenses and all of that with two people, and she is doing the same exact thing, and she not at all. Like,
maybe it's because she just like they know it's like it's the daughter, not the original. So maybe their people are just like, oh, it's
I
not
don't know.
this.
I feel like the way that the way I feel like it was presented, it seems like she just like started like went from where she left off, like she still has all the original regulars and all the other people, and it just seemed really weird. Like I was just like, so it was just, I felt like that was a little bit lacking for the story. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's not her mom died, right? It's like 5 years or something since her mom died.
Like
maybe less.
3, yeah, I think it was
3,
like
okay.
3 years. Yeah,
but it's not a
3
lot,
years
you know. Well, okay.
Well, and why take that up? Why not just do something else? Like, I don't know.
And she just mentioned that like she had gone to like an employment agency, and they also, well, if you finished your A levels, but that doesn't matter because lots of people haven't finished a lot of their testing, a lot of like schooling.
I felt that was a little,
you know?
I felt like that was a little bit like, oh, so you didn't finish college, so you can't work anywhere?
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit lacking. I was a little confused by that, but
yeah,
whatever. You'll like it.
Yeah. I'm glad she finally decided to go. I was like, just go already. Oh my God, what are you waiting for?
I know. It's like, we know you're going to go. Like, just get there. Like, just do it. I laughed too because I don't know when this was published, but when she was like, oh, I'll just try the card and see if it'll go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember those days. That doesn't work anymore. Everything's instant. What's that?
2018.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah. It's a couple times back then. And later on you go, oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like kiting, like writing a check and then moving the money. Yeah. Anywho, back in the day, good old fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we kind of briefly touched on it, but we didn't really talk about it. But are there any TV shows that you're really into now or that you're looking forward to this year?
And no, I still have to finish Virgin River. I forgot yesterday. Sorry. Yeah, I am getting into the new season of Shetland is out now. So I watched the seasons or episodes 2, 3, and 4 yesterday. It's so freaking good. I love this show so much. And the last season of Vera just started, which I'm excited for because I love Vera, but it makes me sad because I love Vera and it's the last season. So yeah, I'm sort of putting that off a little bit more because there's not going to be a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mostly British stuff, of course, that I am waiting for.
Yeah.
How about you?
Not really. I mean, most of the shows that I watch are like shows you have to wait like an entire year or so to like see them again.
Mm-hmm.
I did not finish Only Murders in the Building this last season, so I do have all of that to watch.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could do that. I don't know. I started it, and because I didn't do my whole like wait for it to so I can binge it, I like came off of it. So now that I can binge the whole season, I'll probably do that sometime soon, probably more towards February. And then once I get a few episodes in, I'll do the High Potential and Will Trent.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever Bridgerton starts, which I don't think is this year at all.
No.
And then Lincoln Lawyer, which won't be this year. And The Diplomat, which again won't be this year. It's like all these shows you have to wait so long.
Yeah.
And then they give it to you all at once. So then you binge it in one
Mhm.
day or two, and then you have to wait, 2 years for it to happen again.
Yep.
So,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I have some Abbott Elementary to catch up on too. But nothing that is like a big deal.
Yeah.
So.
I just finished my another rewatch of New Tricks. I tend to rewatch it like at least once a year. I just go through the whole thing and yeah, so I just finished that.
Yeah.
I started rewatching for the first time Only Murders from the beginning. So I was watching more New Tricks. So I'm just getting I think I'm 3 episodes into season 3 of my first rewatch of Only Murders.
Yeah.
But
I do when I just want to have something on while I'm just zoning, I always watch Midsummer Murders. So I've rewatched the first 8 seasons so many times.
Yeah.
Troy is my favorite. I mean, well, I don't know. Jones and Troy are really right there for me.
Yeah.
But I have never rewatched any of Jones' seasons. Really, if I have, it's been odd ones doubled.
Yeah.
So I might have to get into his seasons. I really don't like the guy that was in between.
Yeah, just for one season, Winter.
Was it Winter?
Mm-hmm.
Is that was his name? I didn't like him. No, yeah. I don't think it's Winter. I think I liked Winter. It's the really dark haired one. Is that Winter?
Mm-hmm.
Where he
kind of sleeps around kind of a lot.
Yeah, and he's really into. He sleeps with one of the suspects.
Yep.
And then she dies the next day.
Uh-huh.
And so she's no longer a suspect, obviously. And then the next season, that's when Jones starts, because the next season he's supposed to be there, but the coroner's like, oh yeah, I called in sick today. And then Jones is just a constable, and Barnaby's like, do you own a suit? Mm-hmm. And Jones is like, yeah, yes sir. And then Jones happens. We never see the other guy again. So I don't know.
I know. I've been rewatching some Bob's Burgers too, and that's always fun.
I have not watched Bob's Burgers in a long time.
Some of the new ones are really cracking me up a lot. Like,
yeah, I should get into
so
that. Used to always, so like, especially during COVID, we used to get pizza a lot. Like COVID, we ate out way too much. I think like half of it was like, you know, you're depressed because you're stuck, and but you're also like trying to keep the economy going. Like, so you're like trying to like spend money too. I don't know if that makes any sense, but to us it made sense to like order out, so like these businesses didn't go away, you know. And so we would order pizza and we would watch Bob's Burgers like as a family. Like that was our thing. This was before I had my other kids. It was just when it was me and my husband and my stepdaughter. So it was funny because it was like Domino's and Bob's Burgers. But yeah, I haven't really watched it since. I mean, here and there, but I really should check in because those, oh my goodness, they're so funny.
I know.
So funny.
Yeah, they've been pretty good.
And like you hear those voices, and like that's all you see. It's like Bob's Burgers characters, not like whoever else they're playing.
Right.
Especially the Louise character, because that woman, like that's her voice. Like she's not putting any airs on. Like that's what she sounds like in everything she's in.
Pretty much. Oh yeah, I did watch all of What We Do in the Shadows over the last couple of months. It was so good, really funny. I got really emotional at the end. Like the series just ended. So I got a little emotional, but she's in the show too. She shows up in like season 4, I think 3 or 4 as the guide. And it was really strange the first few episodes, like, oh, why is Louise wearing a blonde wig? And like, you know. She's
a great actress. I mean, she cracks me up in a lot of different things. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything serious. She was in, what was that show? It was Last Man on Earth or something. And she was in there. And every time I'm like, because my husband really liked that show. And every time I'd come in and it'd be on, I'd be like, I can't watch the show. It's Louise. Like, I can't, like, I cannot separate the sound. But he really liked that show. But yeah, no, nothing has come up too much. Yeah. I watch a lot of kids shows with the kids, so I don't really have a lot of TV time to myself. We did really like, or at least I did. I mean, I don't know if the kids really liked it, but for Christmas, there's a new Netflix movie called That Christmas.
Yeah, I did that.
And it was really cute. It's a British, it was a British Christmas movie. And it was funny because, like, the characters, which were kids, like, apparently one of the Christmas traditions in their little compound or whatever was like they had to watch Love Actually. Like, I'm like, that's not appropriate for kids. Like, there's characters in there that are like stunt people for pornos.
Right.
Like, why is that like your Christmas tradition? I mean, one of the kids was like a toddler. Like, she's like 3.
Yeah.
So that really cracked me up. But I thought it was really well done. I thought it was cute. All the little stories were very charming, and I really liked it. I thought that was cute. But yeah, Netflix, I mean, I'd say like every 3 months they've got some new movie. Some are good, some aren't. But we try them so that we're not watching the same thing every night, which right now is Sing and Sing 2.
Been that way for a long time at your house.
Oh my gosh.
Because when I was at the house last time, like a year ago.
Thank goodness they don't suck. Well, because Rosie really liked them when she was like 18 months old. And now my son is 18 months old, and he really, really likes them. So now we're watching them constantly. So, yeah. But, yeah. When's the next Mission Impossible?
This summer, finally. It was supposed to be last year, and I was really annoyed because it was part 1 of 2. So we're still following the same story, the same like bad thing, the same bad guy. So it ends, you know, it was supposed to be last summer, and then it wasn't. It's like, oh, come on. So, yeah, I pretty much just go to the movies for those these days. Mission Impossibles.
I haven't been to the movie theater in a long time, but I think my kids are getting to a certain age where we'll be able to go.
Yeah.
Because I think they'd have a lot of fun
Mm-hmm.
doing that. My mom keeps talking about taking them, and I'm like, you're not taking my kids to the movie theater before I can take them to the movie theater. Like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, shall we get on to another sprint here?
Sure.
Yeah. I think we'll do this sprint, and when we come back, we'll kind of do a little check-in and see if we want to do any more. I know my husband is probably hoping to get into our bedroom. This is the only place I can really go where I can be quiet enough that the kids won't hear me. So it's also our bedroom. So he's like, I want to go to bed because I have to work in the morning. So we'll check in as we come back. But let's go for 25 again. Okay. So that'll take us to 20 after. So we'll get everything ready here and see how we do when we come back. Let us know how you're doing out there in the interwebs.
Sounds good.
Okey-dokey. I have been informed that my husband wants to go to bed, so that was definitely our last.
Stop moving, Dani. Coming back? What time is it? 10:20. I don't know what to do.
Oh, this stupid thing. I apologize. Yeah, I think I finished the last chapter and I'm like halfway through this chapter 31. So I got a good amount of chapters done tonight.
Yeah,
so I've started at 70%, and now I'm at 78%. So I have about 2 hours left of listening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably finish it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to start on the third book in the court series. So yeah, how did you do?
Good. I just got to the reading of the will, so end of chapter 13. And I just got the notice that she's supposed to inherit everything.
Yeah.
I read. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very unexpected. Like, what?
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be interesting.
Yes. It's a very, I would say it's a very, very slow reveal.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to really learn. You get to learn everything. And then all of a sudden, I feel like the book was very much like Agatha Christie novels where all the players are there. So it's somebody in the room kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you're just trying to figure out okay, so because it's all you have to do flashbacks and what's happening now because what happened in the past. So you have to try to figure out, okay, so who's all here and who was all there. And then you're trying to figure it out. I think she did a good job of the reveal in this one. But yeah, it felt very much like Agatha Christie.
Yeah. It reminds me of that, and it reminds me of Rebecca a little bit too.
Yes, with Mrs. Davers. I think there's even I think they mentioned that too. Mrs. Davers.
Who?
What's the lady's name in the book?
Something with hold on. Warren, Mrs. Warren.
Yeah. I think that's definitely was an inspiration because that was totally yes. But I hate to cut it short, but my husband's ready. We're turning lights off here.
Don't move too much.
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness, I'll figure that out. It's the first time I've ever used it, so we'll figure it out as we go. But to everyone out there, if you're joining us in replay, thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Live discussion will be on Tuesday the 28th at 8 p.m. here on the channel. So we look forward to that. If you are new and you're wanting to join our Voxer group, please let us know. We can definitely add you to that. There's no, you don't have to talk in the Voxer group, but you can certainly watch what everyone else is saying. We don't do too much chatter in there, but we do have some extra chat in there. So, but anywho, yeah, thanks for everyone who is here. And if you're watching in replay again, like I said, thank you so much. And then we'll see you again at the end of the month.
Yeah, don't forget to vote on February titles too, everybody.
Yes, and those are up on the channel. I do have them on our community tab, so you can vote now until the 20th. So
awesome. All right, thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.